Welcome to this episode of The Corporate Bowl, where I interview top CEOs, leaders, and founders globally. Today we're here with Anja Eskildsen.
That's right.
If I said it right, the Director of Niels Brock.
Yeah, I think perhaps someone would call me the Managing Director, actually.
Managing Director, yeah. And in the start here, can you just tell me a little bit, what is Niels Brock?
Yes, sure I can. So Niels Brock is a business college located in the heart of Copenhagen. We offer a wide range of business-oriented courses, ranging from vocational education and training over high school to bachelor's and master's degrees as well. Actually, we are the largest provider of high school programs in Copenhagen, I think actually in Denmark. So this year in August, we will start 50 new cohorts. So it's a lot just in the high school programs. And then approximately 9 cohorts at the vocational level and almost 20 new cohorts at the academic, bachelor's and master's level.
You have been here for a lot of years.
Yes, it's
Right.
my school.
How did you, which education did you take, and how did your career kind of get to this place? And also that you become board member of a lot of companies.
Well, I think I would love to say that was just a really, wise, strategic plan of mine, but that would be lying. So the thing is, I've been studying economics at the University of Copenhagen, and during my studies, I got my 3 kids. So I had 3 kids by the age of 25. So when I was done with my university degree, I was looking for a job. And at that time, it was really nice if I could, have a job where it gave me the opportunity to be a little bit flexible. And the teaching could be really interesting for me when I, in that situation. So I started teaching, and it took me, from teaching at school in Roskilde. And then I just developed, tried to have more and more responsibilities and went into management and then a lot of circumstances and luck and, so that took me here.
Niels Brock has a huge reputation, right? Especially, I think, more now than before, but especially now, it has a huge reputation. Also, like one of the most, like everybody wants to come here. It's incredible. I want to come here. Everybody else wants to come here. How do you think Niels Brock has managed to make this kind of reputation?
Well, I think, and perhaps you have to help me a little bit because my English is not always that good, especially if I have to explain this. But I think, I think what is important is that, we have a purpose. We think that it's important that we are authentic. So when you came here, I showed you the picture of the old merchant, Niels Brock. It's based on his will. It was money he set aside to establish a school. And we try to be really true to his wishes, his, what he put in his will at that time. And now we offer, like I mentioned, the 50 classes starting at the high school level, but it's in 4 different places. We have 4 different high schools, and all of them would have their specific profile. And I think we try at least to make sure that whatever interest you have, we would have a high school program who will actually be what you are looking for. And we make sure that it, in every subject, when they go, on trips or whatever, the guest lectures come in, that it is all connected to that specific profile. And at least that's what I hear from a lot of our students, that they feel that it is authentic, that we are not just, teaching it with sort of, walk the talk. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's this authenticity, right? That's so special, and also the way that each high school building is different from each other,
Yeah.
right? Because some people could look at it and say it's just a business school, right? All of it, but there's actually different niches in each school. So how did you come up with the idea, kind of, to make all of these different schools? Because there's not a lot of gymnasiums or high schools who has these kind of different schools.
I think, of course, because we're located in Copenhagen, so we have some opportunities that you might not have if you are located in a smaller city. So we knew we would have the opportunity to actually do something to, differentiate us or
Differentiate. Yeah.
yes, us from the others. And we just wanted to make sure that that was, very clear, that it shouldn't be something a little bit similar to it. It had to be something that people would be talking about. And then in the beginning, we actually only had one, and then we got another one, and adding on. And I think we were just listening and communicating with our students and trying to, understand their needs and what they thought would be interesting. So besides making sure that it is high quality, of course, in everything we do, we pay a lot of attention to listening to our students, knowing what is like the next thing that they would like us to move into. Which area would that be? Like we just did with the Jesper Buch Startup Academy.
Yeah, I think that's very important, right? To listen to the extra students who go there, because that's like it's like the customers, right? In the company, it's the feedback back and forth.
And just imagine how important it is and how lucky we are that we have our customers with us, the entire day for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I think that was really important just for us all to realize how important it is and how much knowledge we can, and very, good and important knowledge we can get out of that.
Because that leads on to the next question, which is, what do you think is the biggest difference between managing an educational organization and a typical corporate company?
Well, I think there's many, and I think especially the case that we are a very special and important tool for the politicians to make sure that Denmark will move in the right direction. So education serves also with the purpose of making sure that we can actually become that kind of society that we need. So there's a lot of political demands and a lot of political, we are always, I think the political element is totally different. I know, of course, also in ordinary companies, the politicians and the politics is important, but it is special at our level because the politicians can decide if we can offer any program or change it and stuff like that. Then it's also special that our employees are all very well educated, all of them, and they are also, driven by the wish of, and I think that goes for a lot of people, of course, but to really be better and better in their subject, and they are, we don't have that much work together in the school context where you go a lot with your students and you teach them, right? So it's important to be able to facilitate that, where all the values goes. And yeah, I'm not quite sure it's a huge difference besides the fact that there are some more rules and regulations as to what we are allowed to do than what an ordinary company would be.
So also talking a little bit about the future now, we're heading a little bit more to the future. What role, because I see gymnasium and high school as a really important part of a person's life, right? I think they learn a lot, they develop a lot in that period. So how do you think Niels Brock plays a role in that next generation of students? And what do they take from Niels Brock to use in their life later on?
Well, I think that's a very, very good question. Also very, difficult to answer, but I hope that there will be a lot of the values that we try at least to put into all of our programs. So, no matter what we're doing, we're always focusing on making sure that the students studying with us knows what is important when you have to operate in, a business, do a business, but always doing it in like a good way. Make sure that often you talk about that business schools are not part of the solution, but they've been part of the problem because we're so focused on only making money. But I think what we're trying to do is not, making sure that all of our students know that it's not just a case of making money. It's also very important how you do it and that you behave in everything you do, so it's also taking care of your employees, taking care of planet. So it's not only profit, but it's also people and planet doing good as well. Yeah.
So what do you think is one skill that students should kind of focus on taking with them? One skill that they should focus on taking with them to the next stage in their life?
Be able to cooperate.
People to work together in communication and stuff like that. That's really the biggest.
Because you can't do anything by yourself. You are always depending on, people. And right now we have this project, and where we have some experts being part of this project, and one of them is Chris McDonald, and he is teaching us the difference between human beings and the chimpanzee. Yeah. And one of the biggest differences is the length of your big toe. And the reason why, we can't do what we can't really get around in all the trees as the chimpanzees can. But what we can is actually we can work together. And that's what made the difference from the very beginning. We couldn't, compete or fight the lions by ourselves. But the second we understood that if we stood, shoulder by shoulder, and then we started taking up rocks and throwing them after the lions, then we managed. And it's still the same. So we can't do anything by ourselves. We have to rely on and have to work with other people. So that is the main competence you have to take with you. Understand how to communicate with others, how to be someone that you would like to work together with, and knowing how the importance of listening to other people and finding solutions together.
There's now you see that I think not as much as before, but now I think there's a lot of people who start businesses very young, in very, very young age, me included. But they don't always have the skills and stuff like that to do it. But because they might they get an idea or they see a chance, they take it, but they're going to high school, right? So they choose to drop out because they want to focus on the business and earn money and the dream and all the stuff. So what do you say to people who feel like school isn't really for them and they don't like it, but they would rather go start their own business?
Well, I think it's important to keep on, dreaming and working on that, but never to quit the school. I think it is possible to do both, and we have a lot of students doing both. And I know it's a lot of hard work while, it's tough work at school and also being able to be active doing, start up your own business. But you will never be, you will only be better in doing your own business if you get all the right competences. And you will also find a lot of good people that can support you and assist you during a study. Is like what we're doing with the Jesper Buch Startup Academy, where we have a lot of people, all of them focusing on starting up their own business. And all of a sudden they create new ideas because they meet someone, and that idea that they thought would be the perfect idea, all of a sudden they bounce it on someone else and they figure out that, okay, this is actually better if we just change a little bit here or there. So I think in many ways, school and education will be, just creating your business, making sure your business will be even better.
You have had a long career, again, like we talked about before. What is one thing that you learned the most from over the years, and the one leadership skill or the one skill or the one moment that you learned the most from over these many years, and what was that?
Well, I think there's been a lot, but and there's been a lot of people who've made huge impact on me, who've given me opportunities at a very young age. The former chairman of the board of directors, who gave me the chance when I was just 31 years old, and gave me the chance of being the managing director at this school. I think there's been a lot of people who've, when I was young and trying, and they were really assisting and helping. And one thing that I've learned from all of these years is the importance of other people, that you can't do anything by yourself. You are so dependent on having good, what they're saying, it's all about people. It's right. It is all about people. It is about finding the right ones to work with, the right ones who would, have the same dreams and ideas as you, and work for the same goals and stuff like that. So it is all about people. And the list of people that I should thank, is really long, including my husband, of course, but a lot of people I've been working with, and a lot of them that I've learned so much from. The former Minister of Education, Mr. Bertel Haarder, has played a huge role in my life. And so, the list is really, really long. Yeah.
Has there been some like student stories that you still remember to this day?
Well, yeah.
It hit you and touched you?
But I think there is a lot. And what really, almost makes me cry is when many years after students graduate from Niels Brock and I meet them, I went to Seedster, that week that Jesper Buch creates in Spain, and I all of a sudden I stood outside, and a young guy came to me and he asked, "Can I give you a hug?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, but yeah, I graduated 8 years ago, and it changed my life, and I just have to say thank you." And I'm, yeah, that really hits me in my heart, and I get so proud. And
Yours should be. Yours should be. I think you've affected a lot of students here and a lot of people over the years. But what is one thing, if you tomorrow could implement a new change in education, especially Danish education, what would that change be if you could do it like a snap tomorrow?
I think I would give a little bit more freedom to the educational institutions. I think in many ways there's a lot of rules and regulations, and not all of them are actually creating a better program or better programs. So I would give a bit more freedom to the educational institutions. Still ask them to be able to deliver, high quality. But, getting there should be a little bit more freedom. I think it is important that especially the students that we want to educate here, business people, it's important to know that the learning process is also by doing a lot of the things, not only reading about it. We keep on saying that we've not just read the book Asian Buller. You have to translate that, right? But we've been in Asia, actually. So we've been doing business in Asia. So I think back to being authentic and back to... So that is what I would change. I would change some of the rules and regulations, give more freedom to the schools so they can create, like we've been doing at Niels Brock, but we still have a lot of, the Jesper Buch Startup Academy. If we could do it just as we would, there would be some of the subjects we were not teaching.
Yeah.
So we would, get rid of some and put others in. Right now we're teaching in cold canvas, which is not a subject at all, but we put it in, squeeze it in because we think it's important.
Yeah.
So I think we would go through all our programs, remove some of the subjects and put in some that we think would be more relevant for business people.
Yeah, it becomes more niche, right? Yeah. So let's head over to the rapid fire round, where I say either this or this.
Okay.
And then you choose one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early mornings or late nights?
Early morning.
Tradition or innovation?
Innovation.
leading by example or leading by strategy?
Ooh, I have to choose, right? Yeah. Strategy
Learning in theory or learning in practice?
and practice.
Education or work experience?
Education.
Online learning or in-person learning?
In-person learning.
And then if you could describe your entire career in one word, what would it be?
I've been lucky.
And for the final one, you can explain this a little bit further. Finish the sentence. Success is.
Oh, success is. Well, it's having a life full of happiness. For me, it's having this wonderful job with a lot of young people and having the chance to have just a small impact on their lives and having a wonderful family that I really, I have 3 kids and I have 7 grandchildren as well. So, yeah, that's success for me.
So when you look back at your career or your life, what do you want to be remembered for?
I think I would like to be remembered for actually I was doing my best.
If you could have dinner with 3 people dead or alive, who would it be? It's a difficult one. I know,
Yeah,
but
it is. It is because you think like, okay, perhaps I would start with Jesus because I'm curious, right? So I think that would be one. I think I would like to meet with, just because it's been like Elvis Presley, perhaps. And the final one, perhaps I'd just like to meet with Peter Bjerregaard, my former, the chairman. Yeah.
And now for the final question. If you could give advice to your 20-year-old self, what would that be?
I think it would be that I'm on the right track, even though I thought I was not. That it's really wise to get a lot of kids while you're young. And it is important that you continue your studies and remember that no matter what you study, and even though you think that while you're studying it, it's pretty
Tough.
yeah, and perhaps also the wrong study and everything, by the end of the day, it turns out good.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for watching this episode of The Corporate Bull, and special thanks to Anja for joining us today.
You're welcome.
And remember, nothing is impossible.